Hi there, everyone. This is Dr. Tracy Bumstead, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Medical Education in the School of Medicine at OHSU, Oregon Health and Science University in beautiful Portland, Oregon. We wanted to create a video to describe the changes we are making to better advise and support students in our MD program. The college's program originally began in 2012, 2 years prior to the launch of our new medical school curriculum called YourMD, in which we matriculated our first cohort in 2014. Since that time, and as our curricular changes have evolved, we now recognize the need to transform our advising and support structures to better meet our goals. This video will help contextualize this transformation by providing some background about the college's program, our recent LCME accreditation self-study and determinations, our own internal data and reflections, in addition to describing the new OASIS system we will implement in January of 2021. We have named our new innovation OASIS, which stands for Outreach, Advising, Support, and Identity Formation for Students. We think OASIS is a good name for it, not only because it's a likable acronym, but also because the word oasis captures what we aim to create, like this small garden oasis in the oak barrel, and like this definition from dictionary.com. Something serving as a refuge, relief, or pleasant change from what is usual, annoying, or difficult. We know the whole process, starting from medical school applications, interviews, and admission, all the way through the long journey of medical school experiences and courses, culminating in the match and starting a residency. We know that this entire process, while exciting and exhilarating, is also rigorous and extremely demanding. We want OASIS to serve as a refuge, relief, and a pleasant change for our students. All right, so let's get to it. The word oasis may also conjure up images for you of a desert oasis, which is a small, fertile, or green area in a desert region, usually having a spring or well. We also like this definition because going to medical school may feel like you are trekking across a hot, dry desert before you reach your goals of becoming a physician. It is essential that you are nourished along the way, supported academically, taught how to build skills for grit and resilience, and finding joy in the physician career that best aligns with your interests and talents. By providing valuable advising and support services, a figurative oasis, for students, we hope to cultivate an environment that promotes healthy personal and professional development in order to become successful and fulfilled physician graduates. If we do this, it will be a win for all of us, for students, our program, school, university, and most importantly, for all the current and future patients who so desperately need our services as highly competent, compassionate, empathetic, and humble healthcare professionals who thrive. As background, the college's program was structured around 7 learning communities represented by the color circles here on the left. The college's program was initially developed in 2012 and led by Dr. Nicole DiOrio. In 2018, Dr. DiOrio left OHSU to pursue career opportunities at Virginia Commonwealth University, and since that time, Dr. Amy Garcia has led the college's program in her role as Assistant Dean for UME Student Affairs. Throughout the tenure of the college's program, we have funded many individuals, including over 30 faculty portfolio coaches, and every coach was assigned approximately 5 students in each class cohort, and who were responsible for providing individual, longitudinal academic advising and documenting academic goals and progress in the student's electronic portfolio. We also funded 14 faculty college leads, 2 each overseeing the 7 college learning communities, and who were responsible for planning career and skill building activities and workshops of interest to student members of the college. In addition, 2 UME diversity navigators to help students from diverse backgrounds successfully navigate medical school, and 2 UME staff members, including a full-time program manager and part-time administrative coordinator. Students have always been able to select prior to matriculation which college they wanted to join, and students have had leadership opportunities as elected college advisory board members to assist in communications with their classmates, providing feedback to college leadership, and serving as college ambassadors and champions of the college's program and events. Additionally, our other Assistant Dean for UME Student Affairs, Dr. Benjamin Schneider, has led the career and residency advising activities for our MD program, assisting over 60 faculty members across all of our clinical departments in serving as residency specialty advisors to our students. However, no dedicated funding or FTE was provided directly to these residency specialty advisors. The programming related to professional identity formation, career exploration, and general residency application strategy, support, and advice was delivered primarily by Dr. Schneider and a few other UME staff and volunteer faculty in a large group format or via information posted electronically for asynchronous student access. We also didn't provide explicit help with elective selection. Students were encouraged to select and seek advice from a compiled list of the departmentally based residency specialty advisors in a distributed model across the institution. While this model allowed autonomy for the student, we believe it did not provide enough structure needed to assist students with career advising in the modern era. Our wellness activities and programming have also been delivered in a distributed model, and many have been led by Dr. Megan Fernari, who serves as the Director of Medical Student Wellness and Leadership Development in the Student Wellness Committee. Other wellness activities are coordinated by the Assistant Deans for UME Student Affairs, the university's Student Health and Wellness Center, and the medical student elected leaders serving as Student Wellness and Professionalism, or SWAP, representatives in each class cohort. When reviewing data sources during our LCME self-study, including student satisfaction data, we also became aware of the fact that many students felt their individual college faculty coaches provided valuable life and wellness advising for them. However, students by and large did not perceive having their academic or career advising needs met throughout their time in medical school. The college's program mission statement was to inspire and support students in defining and reaching their full potential. The philosophy of the college's program was primarily to build community among students and faculty, and that by grouping students by anticipated practice setting, students were more likely to find like-minded peers and mentors. This was thought to allow for the creative and individualized dissemination of traditional student affairs content. The fact that each college represented a specific practice setting, such as hospital-based specialties, rural practice, or metropolitan primary care, we predicted that students would be afforded early exposure to different practice types. The student affairs curricula, grouped based on the 6 college pillars, could be customized with each college's student leaders and faculty creating practice-specific, relevant programming for common student concerns and experiences. These 6 pillars made up the categories of activities in the past, and the vast majority of them were delivered to students in the first 18 months of the curriculum in the Foundations of Medicine phase of YourMD and occurred on each Wednesday afternoon for approximately 2 hours for each student. This is a sample of the weekly schedule for the Foundations of Medicine blocks, and this shows that each week of the Foundations of Medicine phase, we built in protected time for College Wednesdays, where the individual academic advising and programming for the 6 pillars took place. We purposely scheduled this college time in the middle of every week so students would have a protected time spot, and in general where no formal curriculum could invade, to explore the important programming pertinent to their personal and professional identity formation and future physician careers. We required attendance and also created elaborate schedules for each student to meet with their individual coaches, typically once every 4 to 6 weeks. We did not, however, continue to protect the College Wednesday time once students headed into the clinical experience phase in February of their second year of medical school. Since the students in this phase were now on busy clinical rotations, the student contact time with their coaches and with their college learning communities became increasingly rare. As I mentioned previously, we recently completed our 18-month LCME institutional self-study for accreditation, and I've listed here the language directly from the pertinent elements in which describe requirements for all allopathic medical schools in the U.S. in order to be accredited. Element 11.1 relates to academic advising and states, a medical school has an effective system of academic advising in place for medical students that integrates the efforts of faculty members, course and clerkship directors, and student affairs staff with its counseling and tutorial services and ensures that medical students can obtain academic counseling from individuals who have no role in making assessment or promotion decisions about them. A related element, 11.2, about career advising states, a medical school has an effective career advising system in place that integrates the efforts of faculty members, clerkship directors, and student affairs staff to assist medical students in choosing elective courses, evaluating career options, and applying to residency programs. And a third element pertinent to our new OASIS structure is 12.3, which relates to well-being programs offered by medical schools to their students. It states a medical school has in place an effective system of personal counseling for its medical students that includes programs to promote their well-being and to facilitate their adjustment to the physical and emotional demands of medical education. As part of our 18-month LCME self-study, a student group completed an all-student satisfaction survey called the Independent Student Analysis, or ISA, and which is a major factor in how the LCME determines if a school is meeting accreditation standards. This slide shows some of the ISA results pertinent to the three elements I just mentioned, with the percentages of students in the program at that time who indicated they were satisfied or very satisfied with these academic, career, or wellness advising and support services. As you can see, the numbers are quite low in general, despite the significant work, effort, and funding we've devoted to the college's program and these various student support services. Every year, graduating medical students across the country are surveyed by the Association of American Medical Colleges, or AAMC. This AAMC graduation questionnaire, GQ for short, asks graduating students at the end of their program about their satisfaction and experiences related to many different aspects of their medical education. The AAMC collects the data and then sends each school the aggregated, de-identified results from students in their program in comparison to graduating students in all other medical schools in the country. This slide shows some of our GQ results pertinent to the three elements for both the graduating classes of 2019 and 2020. The percentages of graduating students who indicated they were satisfied or very satisfied with these advising and support services, or agreed or strongly agreed with the two statements at the bottom are listed. These two statements are a reflection of the student perception about how our school fosters the development of their personal and professional identity formation, respectively. Like the ISA, the numbers are quite low, and also low in comparison to other schools' students across the country. Following our LCME self-study, submission of our survey package of documents, and our 4-day in-person site visit by the LCME survey team in January of 2020, we received our LCME determination letter. I've shown the exact wording from 3 of our citations here with respect to these 3 elements. We received an unsatisfactory U citation for both academic and career advising, and a satisfactory with need for monitoring SM for well-being programs. A common theme across all 3 of the citations is that the LCME wants to see consistently high student satisfaction on both the ISA and the GQ. Because our student survey data showed low student satisfaction related to elements 11.1 and 11.2, and for element 12.3, the 2 surveys had inconsistent results, the LCME determined our program had not met satisfactory performance for accreditation purposes in these areas. In a nutshell, the LCME concluded that we must improve these services and student satisfaction, and we must do so in a short timeline. I've listed additional internal data and information here that helps us understand where some of the sources of dissatisfaction exist. On the left, several students have told us that their coach, who again was intended to provide academic advising, wasn't as well versed with the details of the YourMD curriculum as needed, or that the one-to-one student-coach individual meetings served more of their life and wellness advising needs, or that because the clinical specialty of their coach was different from their intended residency discipline, the students perceived less value in meeting with them as they progressed along in the program. Our Ready portfolio system is an OHSU-developed electronic portal that houses all of the students' performance data throughout medical school, including final grades, narratives, board scores, competencies, and progress toward the entrustable professional activities. When we launched our new YourMD curriculum, we created the Ready system from scratch. Many changes have been made over time to improve the user interface and speed of the system. Coaches were expected to document meetings in the student's Ready portfolio, but in reality, many coaches found the system difficult to use and so did not document, and developed shadow systems instead to keep track of their meetings with students. We also did not have any specific career advising information from the students, the college faculty leads, or residency specialty advisors. In general, many users did not find Ready an asset for their academic and career advising needs. We also have recognized problems with some logistics. We had protected Wednesday afternoons in the Foundations of Medicine phase, but because we required attendance for college sessions, some of which were wellness related, we had a lot of backlash from students who told us in no uncertain terms that forced wellness was bad. Don't make me do yoga when most I'd like to do is study for my exams on Friday. These Wednesdays were also where we scheduled the required individual student meetings with their coaches roughly every 4 to 6 weeks for about 20 minutes each. What we've learned is that these meetings were either too much or not enough time, or not the right fit for what was needed when. The intermittent group meetings with the coach and all of their assigned students, called cohort meetings, were generally deemed beneficial because they allowed peer-to-peer advising and community building. However, some students and coaches have told us that they would occasionally leave these meetings feeling more anxious because the group discussion sometimes devolved into gripe sessions, often about step one, some frustrating lecture, or an exam question on a recent quiz felt to be unfair. The college Wednesday activities for students occasionally were canceled to provide time for the student-led structural competency sessions, or simply allow additional independent learning to decompress a difficult block in the curriculum. We also envisioned Wednesday afternoons to be prime faculty development time, since all 30-plus faculty coaches and 14 leads had dedicated FTE throughout the year, buying their time away from clinical duties, specifically every Wednesday. What we experienced, however, is that we could not ensure consistent presence from the faculty, whether it was due to clinical service or vacation or other competing time commitments, and regular ongoing faculty development waned, thus creating gaps in knowledge and skills needed for their advising roles. So, we have developed a new vision for how to organize, plan, and deliver a completely transformed advising and support system. This system has been informed by feedback, some of which I just shared with you from students and student surveys and our LCME accreditors, but also feedback received from faculty, staff, residents, and after reflecting on our goals and reasons for our failure. We've named the system OASIS, which again stands for Outreach, Advising, Support, and Identity Formation for Students. It is a comprehensive system of support for medical students' advising needs and their personal and professional identity formation throughout all years of medical school. We also wanted to include the previous efforts and initiatives from our pre-medical outreach team into the new structure, as they are so closely aligned with the overall framework of OASIS. The OASIS Advising and Support System is comprised of 4 streams: pre-medical outreach and advising, medical student life and wellness advising, medical student academic advising, and medical student career advising. The 3 goals of OASIS are shown here, including to provide pre-medical outreach and advising and advance diversity initiatives to promote a diverse student body, to provide essential support and multidimensional comprehensive advising for medical students, and to cultivate an environment that promotes a healthy personal and professional development for students to become successful and fulfilled physician graduates. Okay, and here is a one-page OASIS at a glance with the basics of the people and the programming for each of the 4 streams. This is not meant to be an exhaustive list, but instead just meant to give you a general sense of how the OASIS streams fit together and services we will provide. At the top, you'll see that several UME leaders, myself, our assistant deans for UME Student Affairs and UME Curriculum, and our UME Diversity Navigators span all 4 OASIS streams. Starting on the left, the pre-medical outreach and advising stream is led by the Director of UME, Debbie Melton, and the OASIS Program Manager, Erica Chomina, and supported by OASIS Program Tech, Vanessa Valdez. This stream will continue our current efforts in providing outreach to pre-medical students and advisors at undergraduate colleges and universities to help applicants increase their understanding of our school, admissions processes and requirements, and the YourMD curriculum. This helps them evaluate their interests, experiences, and fit in relation to becoming a medical student in our program. The people in this stream also provide post-admission cycle feedback and advising on ways to improve one's application for a future cycle if not initially successful. Finally, this stream is also instrumental in advancing our diversity initiative through pathway programs and partnerships. Next, the Medical Student Life and Wellness Advising stream will be led by the new Assistant Dean for UME Student Affairs, as Dr. Amy Garcia will be leaving OHSU at the end of December to enter private practice in Minnesota. Programming will focus on nurturing students' personal identity formation. Students will be able to meet individually with one of the 4 faculty life and wellness advisors and develop their individual plan for life and wellness, or IPLAW, and these advisors will collaborate with and build upon the great foundation developed by Dr. Megan Fernari, partnering with a variety of people, including OASIS student advisors, faculty, UME, and university staff members for optimal support. Students will also have opportunities to attend and participate in group workshops designed to help them identify internal and external factors influencing their personal identity formation, and to access resources and build skills to foster their fulfillment, success, and thriving as physicians of the future. Workshop topics promote students' well-being and facilitate their adjustment to the physical and emotional demands of medical education. I've listed some of the topics here so you can get an idea of the kinds of programming available, and we want students in general to opt in to this programming rather than be required to attend. There will be some required aspects of this stream for students, but we have taken to heart the forced wellness is bad feedback and know that as adult learners, our students are able to select the wellness programming that best meets their needs. The Life and Wellness Advisors have no role in grading, assessment, promotion, or progression in medical school for students to reduce barriers to seeking help and avoid conflicts of interest for the advisors. The third stream, Medical Student Academic Advising, will be led by me, Tracy Bumstead, as Associate Dean for UME. 6 new OASIS faculty advisors will provide individual academic advising for all students in the program, helping them with their individual plan for academic success, IPASS, including assisting students with strategies for learning, studying, test taking, and time management, especially on busy clinical rotations. These advisors will help students identify and access academic resources and support services, such as peer tutoring or remediation study planning as needed, so all students have a solid foundation of learning support for success in courses, clinical experiences, and national board exams. General programming provided in large or small groups includes topics such as managing and organizing large volume instructional materials, optimizing deep learning rather than superficial memorization, general test-taking skills, and USMLE board preparation. Academic advisors also have no role in grading, assessment, promotion, or progression in medical school for students and document each individual meeting in the student's portfolio. Students are required to meet with an academic advisor at least twice per year, but can choose which advisor to meet with and then make an appointment with that advisor at a time convenient to them rather than automatically scheduled by our program. The fourth stream, Medical Student Career Advising, will be led by Dr. Benjamin Schneider, Assistant Dean for UME Student Affairs. 6 career advisors will now have dedicated FTE and funding, so we will improve the general career advising provided to all students. OASIS faculty career advisors will oversee a pod of students aligned with their intended specialty choice, listed here on the far right. Students will meet with their career advisor at least twice per year once they have progressed to the clinical experience phase of YourMD and focus on nurturing students' professional identity formation. These individual meetings are documented in the student's portfolio with the focus on helping students develop their individual plan for professional success, IPPS. These advisors are also knowledgeable about the medical student graduation requirements, competencies, and EPA frameworks of the YourMD curriculum and will help students with elective selection and registration. They help students identify and connect with an appropriate residency specialty advisor while they are in the process of applying in a much more structured way than in the past. General programming, on the other hand, is offered by the OASIS career advisors, including career and specialty exploration, application advice, including constructive feedback on personal statements, and who might be good choices for potential letter writers, interview preparation and best practices, rank order lists, and the Match and Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program, or SOAP program. For all of the medical student advising streams, we will continue to protect Wednesday afternoons in the Foundation of Medicine phase, but also we'll be utilizing Wednesday afternoons during the clinical experience phase while students are taking electives and core intersessions for some of this programming. Individual office hours for scheduled appointments with advisors will be held not only on Wednesday afternoons, but also additional times during the week to optimize student access to these advising and support streams and services. In addition, the entire annual calendar of all OASIS programming events will be available for students to see well in advance what is offered, so they can plan to attend and participate in the general programming most relevant, valuable, or interesting to them. We will also record and post on the internal UME Sakai site many of the large group programming events for later review by students who were unable to attend the live event. Finally, required faculty development for all OASIS advisors will be provided in a more structured and ongoing manner to optimize success. I provide a few of my final thoughts here related to why we are completely restructuring our previous colleges program into the new OASIS system. We should have more clearly defined our expected outcomes and measures of success at the front end. We focused mostly on process and not on outcomes, which was a mistake. We did not collect data in real time, such as effectiveness of advising and programming, in such a way to be able to see the problems that developed. The saying you should, quote, measure what matters. So if you can tell if you're meeting your goals and key objectives, that's really appropriate. We didn't do that in a systematic way, and that was also a mistake. Once we identified problems, we did not implement an accountability structure or course correct as we should have. We should have taken a much more continuous quality improvement approach in using reliable and frequent data to help inform our continual improvement efforts. This, too, was a mistake. While we were totally transforming our curriculum proper, from an outdated 2+2, one-size-fits-all, time-fixed, variable outcome model to one that is competency-based, time-variable, innovative, customized, and modern, while we did that, we underestimated the amount of student support structures that would be needed. Prior to YourMD, students didn't have much choice about the first 3 years of their curriculum, and as such, there wasn't as great a need for individualized advising. With so much choice and customization purposely embedded into YourMD, especially early, starting halfway into the second year of medical school, there is an expanded need for advising and support for students. We were distracted with implementing a brand new curriculum and didn't pay as much attention as we should have to the increased support needed for students to successfully navigate this new world order. The new OASIS system needs to serve the interests of a variety of constituents, students of course, but also faculty, staff, future GME employers of our graduates, and also satisfy the LCME. We have defined a whole set of quality indicators and measures we will use to track our success, both for the process and outcomes we care about. Faculty development is key, and going forward, we will track quality data in real time and make incremental changes based on what we find, and transparently report on our progress. We are excited for these changes and an opportunity to innovate in medical education in a major way again. As the leader of the MD program at OHSU, I have no doubt that by clearly setting targets and goals and defining measures of success, by recruiting highly qualified, talented, and creative faculty advisors, by organizing the OASIS activities and programming to achieve our goals, by collecting and reviewing quality data in a transparent fashion, and by making incremental changes, we will be successful with this transformation. So thank you for watching this, and I hope this has been informative and you've learned a little bit about the OASIS advising and support structures in the MD program at OHSU School of Medicine.